Here we are. Who the fuck pressed that?
I think it was your cable. But honestly, any reason to listen to Nemesis.
Cheers. We're having some nice hot chocky.
Mm-hmm. It's the Christmas special, so instead of a beer, we're doing hot chockies.
Yes, Christmas is coming up, and this will be out on Friday, which I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 4 days away for us, but Friday is Christmas, isn't it?
It might actually be. Imagine an episode coming out on Christmas.
Monday is today, 21st December.
Wow.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all the listeners.
If you're actually listening to this on Christmas, rip your family.
Yeah.
We
are a better family anyway. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you.
And if you are my family, Ruth, I'm going to be kind of hurt if you aren't. No, I'm kidding. Enjoy your Christmas.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Implications of Phineas and Ferb podcast.
There's 365 days in a gap year, and Uni's gonna come and end it. So the once in a lifetime problem for us is to find a good way to spend it.
Making a podcast.
Now, I know there's an episode to discuss. I know we've got Phineas and Ferb to discuss.
Yeah.
But can I just say this is a banging hot chocolate?
You really like it?
Yeah, he's put Nutella in the hot chocolate, right?
Yeah.
So not only have I got a nice big cup, he didn't get the small cups, he didn't wuss out. He got the nice big ones, but also Nutella, a little bit of hot chocolate powder, stir it up, bit of milk, chuck in the microwave, It would be nice if it was spun milk, but we don't have a milk spinner.
Yeah, so you can't blame me for that.
So I can't blame you for that, 100%. But I got to say, this is a solid 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Hot chocolate,
Thank you for that. I have a quick story then about hot chocolates.
Oh, hit me with
Apart
it.
from all those chocolate ones you go that have apparently the best hot chocolate, the best hot chocolate I've ever had is one I made with my uncle. And we were going to the beach, as you do, and we were there to go like a kind of fishing. It's the most lazy fishing I've ever done, and fishing in itself is lazy. Like, it was great. Anyway, what we did is we got a thermos and we just put the necessary ingredients. So your cocoa powder, but usually like your chocolate powder these days, milk, tiny bit of warm water, and something else. And we didn't measure it at all. We kind of went, yeah, no, that looked good. Yeah, that looked good. Left it in the thermos for about an hour because that was the drive, and then we crack it open. It was the best hot chocolate I've ever had.
Nice.
And I can never have it again because
it's such specific conditions.
Yeah, it was such specific conditions, as well as the fact is I have no idea how much of everything I put in.
Eyeballed ratios, yeah.
Yeah, I just eyeballed and was like, yeah, this will do.
Was the water boiling when you put it in?
Yeah, it was hot, so
Yeah.
it would have mixed, and we shook it a bit, we assume, and it's sad.
Now,
I can never have that again.
If you're listening to the episode, listen, I know you came here for Phineas and Ferb, but fuck yeah. Send us your hot chocolate recipes. Implications of Phineas and Ferb at gmail.com. Send us a good hot chocolate recipe, and we'll sign the rights to the podcast over to you, dude. I am a sucker for a good hot chocolate recipe.
It depends if it is actually good.
We'll certainly try it.
Well, yeah, exactly. We try everything. Alrighty. So, welcome back to the Implications of Phineas and Ferb, where we discuss the implications of Phineas and Ferb.
Oh my god.
Yes,
he said the intro this time. We'd love to see it.
We've got Season 2, Episode 15, No More Bunny Business, and Spardia.
Now, I really enjoyed this episode.
A
lot.
I was thinking about it as well, and I've just realised we're in the golden day of Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah,
this
is a
the sweet
glorious
spot.
episode. And I was sitting here and I was wondering, I'm enjoying this more than I have pretty much any episode this entire podcast we've done. I was thinking, why is this such a good episode? And then I was like, oh, this is how far our in order rewatch went up to.
Oh, so you're like, this is new to me.
This is new. I have not seen this episode in recent memory. I might have seen it when I was a kid, but I haven't seen it
and so
as an adult.
It's kind of rediscovering it, and
it's just a good episode, isn't it?
I didn't know how many good episodes they could make. But we've got 4 seasons of it.
They're like 4 seasons, 140-something episodes or whatever.
182 or 184.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
How do you keep the quality up consistently for that many episodes?
Who knows? But they smashed
Do you want to hear
it.
some shows? People like The Simpsons, classic of
There's 10
seasons
seasons of that crap.
There's 23 now.
Oh, wow.
There's
okay,
a
so...
lot of seasons of The Simpsons, right?
All right.
They couldn't keep it up for 182 episodes. Family Guy couldn't keep it up for 182 episodes. Name one other cartoon with this consistent quality.
Every
you
single
cannot.
episode
And do you know why The Simpsons...
is this quality.
Exactly. And do you know why The Simpsons couldn't keep up the quality across all that long?
Why is that?
Because they lost Dan and Jeff when they went to write Phineas and Ferb.
All right. No more bunny business. Tell me what happened.
So, we start by the mail lady comes
Yep.
up to the mailbox and
Yep.
just like, I'm going to just put the letter in here. I'm just going to chuck it in there. And Phineas and Ferb are like, hi. 'Cause they're
How you
inside
doing?
the mailbox for some reason.
They've done
Phineas
like
pops
the-
his head out, but when Phineas jumps out, Ferb's in there as well, apparently.
Mm.
Very small mailbox.
They
They're
wanted the
bending
mail.
space and time. What else is new? They're just fitting in a...
demorphing their bodies to get into that.
There's some episode that hasn't aired where they're like, Ferb, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to make the mailbox a TARDIS. That takes place before this one in the timeline. But, like, we just didn't see it, and that's fine.
Nice.
That would explain Time Lords. Phineas and Ferb could be Time Lords.
No, they're more than that. They're better than Time Lords.
Yeah, true. Maybe Time Lords are...
Maybe they invented the TARDISes for the Time Lords, and then they just kept one as their mailbox, just in case.
That
Because
wouldn't surprise me.
they get so many deliveries and mails of like truckloads and tons of stuff. They're like, well, if the delivery man accidentally starts pouring the entire thing we need into our mailbox, it's not going to overfill.
That is a good point. They
Yeah.
did this deliberately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were like, you know what? Just in case if someone tries to put it in the mailbox, something that's too large, it will fit.
The Time Lords were like, we invented a time machine because it's kind of our whole thing, Time Lords, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Phineas
okay,
and
they
Ferb,
can
like,
make
we
a
did
time-
that like ages ago or whatever. And then
We
the Time Lords
fixed
like,
one.
Time Lords like, but our time machines, they don't fit in a very small space. Can you make us something that's bigger on the inside so that we can, like, store these time machines so that we can actually use them? And Phineas and Ferb were like,
Okay.
It's coming back into handy.
Mhm.
All right.
So they're in the mailbox.
Yep.
The mail lady doesn't have their parcel. But while they were hiding in the mailbox, the other mailman delivered the parcel.
Because it's in a box.
'Cause,
And
yeah,
they
it's a
put it out the
box.
front of the door because you wouldn't put it in the
Yeah,
mailbox.
because it's by courier, because that makes sense.
Hmm.
Even though there's clearly space in the mailbox for this parcel.
Obviously,
Yeah.
but they didn't write that on special instructions. I always forget
Yeah.
to put special instructions on
So
my
do I.
orders.
That makes sense.
It's
Yep.
because you should say leave it out the front of my door. Well, you could say that because there is no one in hell ever coming to
The
your
way I
house.
see it, we usually leave our doors unlocked most of the time because
Yes.
we're so far out of town. If someone's dedicated enough to break into our house, drive all the way out with like a truck so they can carry stuff and steal a bunch of stuff and then leave, they can have it. Because like that's a lot of dedication
That's
to
a
robbery.
lot of effort. Yeah.
Like there's so many easier targets. There's places with no locks on the windows in town that you
Yeah,
can just like
yeah.
go into there. Yep. Anyway, their parcel has arrived. And it's X-ray goggles.
Yep.
But turns out they're fraudulent.
Now, I don't quite understand why Phineas and Ferb.
Bought this instead of making it.
Yeah, because they do later on build it, which is
Now.
kind of part of the story. But why did they ever order it?
Let me explain you a thing.
Okay,
My pop was a carpenter, right?
he was.
He still is something. Like he is retired, but he used to be a carpenter, and he would always make us the most fantastic things. But when I went to book club in year 3 and I looked at the thing and it said "spy gadget for sale," you bet your ass I bought that.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
What I could have made with my pop would have been better than those spy toys, but I wanted it because it was in book club. It
And
was in the
it's-
magazine.
And it says spy
It says
toys,
spy toys.
and obviously it's for spies.
Exactly. And
You
I'm
can't
a spy,
be
so
a spy without a watch that makes a little laser pointer.
you understand me on a fundamental level, Joe. I feel seen today.
Anyway,
So-
he's like, it's a scam. Like that other
Like that
scam.
bodybuilding class that we got, and then Ferb just flexes his muscles and grows to 3 times the size.
Man is Ferb cut.
Ferb is jacked. Jeez,
Built.
I will have what he's having. Jesus Christ.
He is ripped. And
I-
Phineas doesn't know. And Ferb doesn't show it.
Yeah. He's not there to show off. He's there
It
for
was
the
just-
actual gains.
It was a visual joke that the audience loves because it's exceptional.
Gotta love Ferb. And we're not even going to discuss how that happened because, like, of course that happened.
Of course it did.
It's Phineas and Ferb. That just makes sense.
All right, so then Candace sees a bunny, and then this bunny later we learn that Perry's will be fighting it because it's a bad guy.
Rogue agent. Now,
Rogue agent.
listen. Once again, we run into a little issue here.
Okay.
Thomas Cruise, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation. I am sick and tired of seeing Hollywood shamelessly rip off Phineas and Ferb after the fact. Okay? Tom Cruise.
This is it.
We know that you want to play Phineas and Ferb. This is the role for you. And the way that we know it is because every single movie that you make is in sequence a rip-off of something Perry the Platypus did. Why are you continuing to copy him when you could just play him?
just be him.
Exactly. You're trying to be a pale imitation of someone that you're not when you could be the first live-action Perry the Platypus. Don't you want to do that? All your own stunts, man. Tom Cruise, answer our emails, please.
Come on,
Tom Cruise, please just be in our movie, please.
Come on, his agent. We've got the role for him. We'll organise the rest of it later.
Once
we sign Tom Cruise, I'm happy.
I will deliberately find you safety people who are okay with being lax so that he can put himself in as much danger as you want.
We will sign the waivers.
We will sign so much paperwork so that boy can, break his arm or crack his skull open
Jump
on a
out
pavement
of
or
a
whatever.
plane
Jump out of a plane.
with a parachute, but he only does it at the last second.
Yeah,
And
so he still breaks his knees.
Yes, and he has to catch a man and a cat at the very last second.
You think it's impressive that that Tom Cruise was able to go on that movie set and he broke his ankle in a shot that made it into the movie?
His actual leg, but yeah.
We will let him break both of his ankles.
He can have both of them.
And we'll keep that shot in the final cut. And we'll play the shot in its entirety with him landing on the ground. You can see the ankles break. He screams in pain. And then just cut to him being fine immediately after. Because we're not cowards who try to hide the facts in the editing room.
Do a better cut than that. Just have a cut up and it just looks like the background. And then he just walks into frame. He just steps up into frame. He's just like, nice, and continues walking.
What we'll do is we'll keep the cameras rolling as he screams, and then the ambulance arrives, and then we'll follow him to the ambulance with the cameras, and we'll take the whole stuff. We'll release the normal version of the movie, but then we'll also release an extended cut, the director's cut, which is 6 hours because it's just got 4 hours in the middle of Tom Cruise going to a hospital and getting casts put on both of his legs, and then a montage of him recovering over the next 6 months. And we've shot it in sequence, so everyone's haircuts will have changed when we cut back.
Yeah.
But we're not cowards who are limited by continuity.
We will do. Anyway,
Back to we've got 30 seconds into the episode, but you had to bring it up.
All right. So Perry he gets told by Monogram that this is a rogue agent, which is kind of interesting, the fact that one of the agents can defect.
His name, by the way, is Agent Dennis.
Dennis.
They only say it once, but yeah, his name is Dennis.
All right. So then
Agent
Perry has to find him. He goes into a chimney, just a chimney. And at the end, he's holding binoculars and he's searching around. Nice little joke. He looks directly at Phineas and Ferb. They look directly back at him.
And they're like, "There's Perry," and then it cuts back and he's just not looking through the binoculars. And they're like, "Well, if he got up there, he can get down." And I'm like, I mean, that's kind of irresponsible pet ownership, but also just being around Phineas and Ferb means that you're probably the sort of pet that's fine with.
Yeah, a secret agent that lives and defeats an evil scientist.
Yeah, that's just the vibes that they give off.
And then...
So the boys
yeah,
make an X-ray glasses.
Yeah.
With carrots.
With carrots, because carrots improve your eyesight. Just asks every mother ever.
Do you know where that came from?
My mother?
No, the carrot eyesight thing, where it originally started.
Yeah, my mother.
The belief that carrots improve your eyesight dates back to World War II propaganda. Children have long been urged to eat carrots in order to improve their vision, but a carrot-filled diet won't get you 20/20 vision or let you see in the dark. That idea is a legacy of World War II when the British government, aided and abetted by Walt Disney, told Britons that eating carrots would sharpen their eyesights to help win the war. The message resonated beyond its borders and still is persuasive today. So it was a combination of propaganda where they were like, it was a combination of propaganda. They were worried about air bombing raids, right?
Yeah.
They had carrots. Carrots were easy to grow. They could give people carrots. They were like, we boost carrot sales. We, A, get money to help with the war.
Yeah.
B, we encourage the populace to eat a food that we have enough of rather
and it
than...
will keep them alive.
Which keeps the stocks good because it's World War II. And then 3, when we do the German raids, when the German raids happen in Britain and we turn all the lights off, people will feel safer because they'll feel like they can see better in the dark. And the Germans will be more scared because they'll think that the British people can see well in the dark because they're eating lots of carrots.
They're the night sight ninjas now because of the carrots.
I'll have to verify that in the edit before I actually do it, but I remember reading about that. I'm pretty confident.
If you're going to verify it, I'm happy with me listening to that. Anyway, so I want to skip pretty much everything because my favourite thing happens in this episode.
Yep.
Perry is unavailable to stop Doof. And so Doof's like, I don't need Perry. I've got this pot plant. Planty, the potted plant. He is going to help me out. No, he's not. He's a secret agent. Let's trap him.
He's a plant wearing a fedora. And let me tell you, if there's one thing the show has told me, it's that if anyone wears a fedora, They can be a secret agent.
And they can stop Doof. Because Planty, the potted plant,
Does stop Doof.
stops Doof.
He's hanging from a rope. Because
And
Doof's trapped him, and then
Doof hits
shoves
him.
him, and he just swings back and forth and just hits him in the head every time he tries to stand up and defeats him.
Yeah.
They call it a draw.
They call it a draw until the dogs break in, knock out Doof, and fly away with the dog biscuit and eat all.
So
Planty!
this is more evidence that Doof would defeat himself if
Yeah.
left to his own devices.
All right. I like
Perry's got an easy job, and good, he deserves it.
I like Perry fighting the bunny. I thought
Fighting
there was some
Dennis.
pretty good action scenes.
Yeah, they went hard. Like they go surprisingly well with the action. That's like
They-
a proper
yeah,
sword
they
fight,
tend
well
not
shot.
they tend not to do like fighting choreography in the show,
But they put
you
the,
don't
they
need
put
it.
the hard yards in.
but they put the hard yards, and so now every show that has fighting choreography again
Ripped off Phineas and Ferb.
ripped off Phineas and Ferb.
Listen, I know that. Let me look at my timelines. Revenge of the Sith was released in 2005, and this show started in 2011. So I'm just going to say it: Revenge of the Sith ripped off Phineas and Ferb and stole their sword fight scene because
Yeah.
that looked like the sword fight scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
No, 100%.
100%. There's no holes in that logic.
No, you've broken it down.
Mhm.
Isabel brings an oven.
That is a great no context sentence.
She's just
She's
prepared.
just got an oven.
She
it's
just
not-
brings her pink oven. It's like, let's
It's-
cook them in here.
It's not a metaphor. It's not a portable oven. It is a full-sized pink oven
That
that
she
she
just-
carries around.
She just brought it around.
She's like, I got my fireside girl's oven.
I'm going to Phineas and Ferb's house,
Better bring the oven.
who have an oven, but I need mine.
Got better bring mine. What if they need one
What
and then their one breaks?
What if they need one and they don't want to walk inside? I've just walked across the street with this flippin' oven.
Worth it. 100%.
Worth 100%.
And it does end up being worth it because they make they make X-ray glasses.
Yep.
Now,
Properly X-ray goggles. And I say
how do these
properly
work?
because they don't work at all to match any sort of science.
Yeah. So they seem to, when they look at Phineas and Ferb, they see their skeleton, right?
Yep.
Which kind of explains the whole like, oh, you'd be able to see what people look like on their clothes. No, you see through people's bodies, right? So
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
you're not seeing anything.
But then they
inappropriate.
look at Buford's stomach.
And it's like, how can you see his stomach? When like, how does
Yeah.
that work? What's going on here?
Yeah. And then they see through pipes,
Mm-hmm.
but not all of the pipe.
Just the one side of it.
Yeah. And then they look at cardboard box
Mhm.
and it only when you look at it for a little bit longer, it cuts out a little bit so you can see it.
It's just their fantasy.
They're fantasy
Now,
X-ray goggles. They are
here's-
very handy though.
Here's my theory.
Mm.
The X-ray goggles, because
Yep.
this is a much simpler solution. This is a Phineas and Ferb solution, right?
Yep.
The X-ray goggles create a parallel timeline. Then, in the parallel timeline,
No.
they actually cut a hole in whatever they're doing, to whatever degree. Then they put a tint over everything because they're also they color graded. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And then they allow you to see from the exact position you're in, but in the alternate universe.
Oh, so you're saying whenever they look through the goggles, what the audience is seeing is a pre-constructed scenario that they've created.
Yep.
Hmm.
And it's all a clever illusion. Trick your friends. Doesn't actually X-ray things. They made what they didn't want to make, except it actually functions.
Yeah, I don't know, because then they sell the things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Phineas and Ferb aren't the sort of people that make a commercial product without
Without it actually being
without
a product
actually
you can
being a
sell.
viable product. So like the antithesis of Pablo Escobar.
Okay, I'm glad we watched that video
If
and no one
you-
else is going to get this.
If you haven't heard of it, Google Pablo Escobar phone and be
Incorporated,
astounded.
yeah.
And don't buy the phone.
Do not buy the phone.
Do not buy the phone. You will not receive
There's
the
a
phone.
Fold 1, a Fold 2, and
And
the
an iPhone.
11. No, it's not an iPhone.
It's the Pablo
It's
Escobar
RIP
phone.
Apple.
Rip Apple.
RIP Apple.
We've demolished
There was
Apple by
6
selling their products.
Very attractive people in bikinis burning iPhones, and if that doesn't say RIP Apple,
Do you know how
nothing
confusing this is going to be without context?
does. I stand by what I said.
Do we do this podcast for other people? No, we do
No,
not.
this is between us and everyone else who listens to it. If you want to know what I'm going on about,
Give it a Google.
give it a Google.
We ain't your slaves.
It's
Anyway,
no.
have we got anything else for the first adventure?
They
Or we
swap
going?
heads.
Oh, yes. So Isabella.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah,
All right,
like
next
they
episode.
swap heads. Are Phineas and Ferb's heads connected to them? Are they connected to their bodies? Are they able to do that? Wasn't all a clever illusion? Who knows?
Do we think this proves that they are one entity as a god, or are they actually
That's a
two
good point.
separate god entities that can just muck around with each other?
We don't have the answers. What do you think this podcast is? You think this is a podcast where we discuss like the implications and then solve them? No, we leave
We put
questions
them there.
hanging in the air.
We leave the questions
It's
there,
up.
and then once we're actually, mildly successful, we can get people who can answer them.
Much like a good show, we answer the questions that we understand, and the ones that we don't, we leave up in the air to the imagination of the audience.
Mm.
Beautiful.
Unless it's about Carrot's eyesight in World War II.
Yeah, in which case we're like, this is the definitive answer. Because, yeah, it's World War II propaganda. There you go.
All right, spa day.
Yes, it's a spa day.
Candace and Stacey want to do a spa day. They're
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, let's go for a spa day. And I'm like, that's a good thing to do with
Good
your
on you.
friend.
Treat yourself.
That's a wonderful time.
We should go on a spa day.
And then she's walking along. No. Anyway, she's walking along. She's walking along to the spa day, and Jeremy pulls him aside and is just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go build a house for charity." And I'm like, "Of course you are,
Of
Jeremy."
course, that's what Jeremy does with his weekend. What else would the perfect man do with his weekend?
Build houses for charity.
There's two things that Jeremy likes to build. He likes to build houses and he likes to build PCs.
with a GTX 3090. That's right. The sexy man got an even better update with the BFG.
Henry
EU.
Cavill and Tom Cruise. That's going to be a great movie.
I can't wait. Have they ever? They've probably talked to each other before.
Probably. They're both famous.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny though?
What?
Like, Henry Cavill is going to have to pretend that Tom Cruise is just a platypus and never see him be Tom Cruise.
That's quite funny.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's going to be a great movie. We're still going to make this happen. I swear to God, it's going to happen.
I want it to
The
happen
season,
so bad.
the season 4 end of season finale is going to be a premiere of the first episode of this TV show. You can hold me
No,
to that.
it's not
and
a TV show. It's going to be like
It's a full movie blockbuster.
it's a full movie.
Yeah, and it
Just
will be
one,
the
though.
premiere. The premiere will be the season finale of season 4 of this podcast, and you can hold me to that. And by that I mean, if you bring it up and expect me to take responsibility for my own failures, I will punch you in the face.
Anyway, so Phineas is just like, well, they're going to have a spa day. Ferb, you want to make a spa? Ferb's just like, okay.
No, Ferb's like, yeah, it's all right, and he goes, you can do your seaweed rap, like music, and
That sort of rap.
Ferb's like, yeah, all right.
He's like, okay.
And let me tell you, when I say this show sets up and pays off, unlike this podcast, they do give the payoff.
They do. They
And
set
it
it up,
is
and you're like, wait, is he
beautiful.
going to rap later? And just you wait. So Jeremy's got to build houses, and he's like, oh, you can come if you'd like. It's an open-ended offer. And she's just like, well, I have to, because she's a little psychotic. No, Candace, look after yourself. Look after Stacey. Take the break. You obviously need it. Like, you need that right now. But she's like, got to do it for Jeremy. I'm like, all right. And so then they have quite a fun day where Candace completely abuses Stacey accidentally.
And Stacey forgives her. And listen, I appreciate the subversions of cliches, but Candace needs some accountability.
Yes. She did some not great things to her friend because she was distracted by a boy.
Joe, I know this is a minimum bar, but as a person that I consider to be somewhat decent, I will not wrap you up in wallpaper and then
Make you
hand
struggle
a
to
running
breathe.
jackhammer and make you struggle to breathe, et cetera, and so forth.
While you talk about someone else.
Yeah, I think that's it's a high bar, but I think I can reach that. You know.
Yep. I think you can do that. If you ever put in any sort of physical effort to do manual labor such as wallpaper, I'd be surprised if you start with.
Okay, ouch. Fair,
Anyway,
but ouch.
So Mr. Fluffy Pants is a cat.
Yeah, there's a dude found a cat. Very
and
cool.
It's very cute.
And it's also very capable of causing large
More
scale
damage
problems.
than Doof has.
Yep. This cat is a better nemesis for Perry than Doofenshmirtz.
Yep. And it just walks around and does things. And it makes the moon bigger.
Yeah. So this scene, firstly, it makes the moon quite a bit larger than it is.
Yes.
Earth's fucked. Like that is by far a way better world-ending scheme than anything Doof has done
Yeah,
before.
like this is nearly Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
From another thing that's ripping off Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda
again.
Majora's Mask. Where
Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask from
apocalypse-
1999.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The apocalypse is the moon crashing into Earth.
It's the same sort of situation.
that would happen.
The tides are fucked.
Well, yeah, I said so.
The climate is fucked.
Again, it depends on how they make it bigger. If they make it bigger mass, then all your waves are tsunamis now. If it doesn't make it a bigger mass, all your orbits are screwed because you'd actually like hit the moon as you try to go around it
Which
because
would
it's
be
so light,
awkward, yeah.
and you could like
Whack it.
push it.
Yep.
So yeah, everything's screwed.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's
Yeah, this
just-
cat single-handedly entered the world in a way that Doof couldn't even imagine.
Yep, and they don't even fix it by the end of it.
They
like
just leave it like that.
they just left the moon doubled the size.
Do you reckon that ever comes back, or do you reckon we're just not going to talk about it?
Talking about things that come back, though, we forgot to mention in the last episode, she has Candace is going through her stuff.
Oh, yeah, she's gone through her stuff, and she finds the scepter from Queen of Mars.
Yeah, and it's from the Queen of Mars. She's like, why do I have this? And we're like,
Ah,
I watched that ep.
I feel validated, so don't be coming at us for not seeing the scepter. You people that understand Phineas Ferb better than us, don't be coming
Imagine
at us.
thinking, understanding Phineas and Ferb better than us. The official
Mm.
Phineas and Ferb
The
podcast.
official,
Unofficial.
official podcast for Phineas and Ferb. Given the best blessings by one half of the creative team. That counts, right? But one half of the creative team, as Candace Against the Universe taught us, there is a whole big team behind the show, and
That's
every
true.
single one of them deserves credit.
All right.
I've got some. My top thing that I've written is shout out to Dan and Jeff for their writing and voice acting. I thought Doof's performance in this episode was fantastic, and I thought the jokes were on point, and I was like, shout out to them. Good on them.
Fair enough.
I've got, side note, I can't remember what this one's from. I just got, don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
Oh, yeah. So Phineas, once they cut to Phineas and Ferb, at one point, Phineas just says to Ferb, don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
And you don't hear the first half of the
We
conversation.
don't know what the
Now,
secret
I
is.
believe that the secret, personally, is that Ferb's real name is Ferbs.
That
could be it.
Yes, that could be it. That, or it could just be another one of those very clever things that just happens. Like there's
Yep.
the idea of the universe happening outside of what the observer sees, and this is one of them.
Good world building. We love
Phineas
to
and
see it.
Ferb have like normal conversations outside of us seeing it.
Imagine teasing things outside of the universe. There's another show that's ripped off Phineas and Ferb, The Mandalorian.
Okay.
I've got when the cat's destroying things, right?
Yep.
It blows up. It makes the moon bigger.
Mhm.
But also before that, it blows up a billboard, and if you pause it at just the right time, you can see the billboard, and it says, "Fits all's hats, one size fits all." That's got a fedora, right?
Yep.
Now, firstly, took us a solid 30 seconds to realize that fits
We
all.
were like fits
Fits all. Do we know what fits all in this series?
Is this like a reference to something fits all?
Fits all, as in
The
one size
pun,
fits all.
fits
it's
all.
it's a pun. Yeah.
Obviously.
Mhm.
And it's the ones that we assume the agents use. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
we
only ever
think-
see one hat.
Exactly.
So they just buy one hat and it fits Planty, it fits Perry, it fits everyone.
Oh, Planty's hat was made of paper. Doof made it.
You know, but at the end,
Oh, he does get his real hat.
monograms like
Planty
you,
becomes an agent.
they gave him a medal as well.
Mhm.
They're like, in our darkest hour, you're really shining. You're like, oh, come on, please be Perry. Perry deserves.
Harry deserves some credit.
Yeah, no,
But
it's
Planty.
Planty.
I mean, Planty did do a good job though.
Planty did a wonderful job.
Yeah. So yeah, we think Fitz-all's fedoras make the fedoras for the agents. There you go.
Nice. When she was suffocating Stacy in the wall with wallpaper,
Mm.
she did actually say that she was going to name her kids with Jeremy, Amanda, and Xavier.
Mhm.
Now you're like, oh, that's cute, because in the future episode that we had like 2 episodes ago with my sister,
Mhm.
the kids' names are Amanda, Xavier, and Fred. And you're like, oh, that's sweet. That's cool. She must have got with Jeremy. Until you realize that if Xavier and Fred are made as like the same
The same as Phineas.
as Phineas and Ferb, they're from a blended family,
Does she end up with Jeremy?
i.e., Jeremy and her have split.
Now, I like to believe that Candace does get the girl in the end. Does get the guy in the end.
Yep.
And that
But she
they
did.
stayed together and it's not a perfect allegory. That's what I would like to believe.
That's what we'd like to believe.
But
But
it is possible.
I'm also okay with the fact that the writers they're not pulling punches.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
That would
prepared
be
to
an
hit
emotional
hard.
punch,
They're
yeah.
like, these two are the couple we've set up from the
Hopefully,
start,
Jeremy could find the girl that actually deserves him.
and
like
they
me.
they had 2 kids, but it still didn't work out.
Yeah. fair enough. Sometimes it's like that, and
that's quite strong.
Yeah, it's a strong emotional message.
Right, and that is literally just from one sentence as her friend suffocates in the background and she fawns over a
She's
boy
always
that
gone
she's
on about
building
the
a
kids
house.
being Amanda and Xavier as well. It's just that we haven't gotten up to the future episode
Yeah,
until now.
and so it's after that one, so it makes more sense.
Um.
And then we have one of the best lines ever, and then we'll break down the song.
Oh yeah.
So the boys are getting a delivery. First of all, they get delivered hot lava.
Yes, very nice. Oh, actually, no. I've got a couple more
Oh, okay.
implications about Spa Day. So, firstly, they go really hard on the Spa Day. They get it all set up for Candace and Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Spa Day song is it's a banger.
All
we
right,
get to hear,
yep.
as we said, set up and payoff. We get to hear
A Spa Day
Ferb's
first. It's like
Spa Day rap. Like it starts with like a Spa Day, like an elevator
really
music
relaxed,
sort of thing.
yeah.
But then
Soft jazz, nearly.
hard cut, we get Ferb's seaweed rap. And his voice is consistent. His rap voice is the same as his rap voice from Backyard Beach.
Backyard beach.
The
Backyard beach.
Backyard Beach.
Yeah, we
I
don't know what they say, but Backyard beach is
Sure is a banger and made it like nearly the top of my list. It's a banging song.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know who Ferb's singing voice is?
No.
Danny Jacobs, the man himself.
Nice.
Good on ya.
That's good.
We love to see it.
That is very good.
Danny Jacobs is a mastermind. He's behind a lot of the music in this show.
He's the main
everything.
guitarist usually, isn't he?
Yeah, main guitarist and main composer as well.
Yeah.
He works with Dan and Jeff, and we love to see it.
And if you have an amazing person like Danny Jacobs doing your music, and Jeff and Dan making and writing the
All
show,
the songs, yeah.
of course it's going to be gold every single time.
Exactly. This is a show that just does not drop the ball. And speaking of Danny Jacobs, if you're listening, if you want to come on the podcast, it'd be really nice to talk to you. I could talk about your fan music. It'd be really good.
You
time.
might be able to meet Tom Cruise.
Yeah, let's set up that meeting. Because we know Tom personally, so we'll just give him a call, set up this.
We'll give him a call.
As we said, we're emailing his agent. We're working on it. We're talking. We send him an email every day. It's like, Tom Cruise, be in our movie.
Oh, be Perry the Platypus.
We'll bring a little
Phineas and Ferb?
Scientology cathedral to our set.
By that
like.
you mean like whatever symbol they have. I don't think it's a cross, but like that, and just hand that to him and be like,
we respect your weird religion.
no, just do it in the corner.
Give it yourself.
Give it to yourself in the corner. The thing I wanted to talk about,
Yes, I'm done for implications.
was when they were getting delivered, the guy's like, "Oh, here's your 300 tons of cucumbers for your eyes. Say, aren't you a little young for this?" And he's like, yes, I am. And the guy's just like, "Sorry, Phineas, he's new here." I love that. He's like, it's okay.
Such a good joke.
Phineas is just
Don't
like,
even worry about it.
enjoy your job. And I'm like,
yeah, he's like, welcome to the job. Good job. You're doing well.
I'm like, thanks, Phineas, you adult person who was 10 years old.
You're being really supportive of this guy.
This guy who is a complete idiot
even though
because
he insulted your maturity.
by saying that he was a bit young. He's just into it now.
How rude.
Well, I like in Spa Day.
Hold on, we haven't heard it this.
Planty's the nemesis.
Any excuse to chuck Nemesis on?
Yep. Cover your mud and make you feel like a queen.
What a line.
Just wanted that. And then the other line I liked was in the song again from the previous episode, and it was, I can see a whole visual spectrum, which is funny because that is actually science stuff. And sometimes photons act like waves but particles when you reflect them. This is not a kid's show. You can bugger off. That is a great line, and it's going to go way over their heads.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
But I would argue that their curiosity being like, wait, how does that work? That encourages kids to look into science and
it's
promote
so
healthy
good.
living. And this show, it's like, it can do no wrong because it's promoting science, but it's also promoting the arts. It's got lots of music. It's got creative people. Phineas and Ferb are doing it all. And they're like, you can do that too, kids. And they're even encouraging you to spend lots of time with your pets. Like, this is just it improves you as a person. Watching this is like Avatar. It makes your childhood better, you know? And it makes you grow into a better person.
This is the one thing I'm going to show my kids.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be from, like, when they're born to 30. And then Avatar's going to be from 12 to 30 or whenever they finish.
Yep.
I've got one thing that someone's written in.
Oh,
not
do
on
tell.
Gmail.
Yeah, so
but
it's time for the reading the people letters.
yes, and that would come from Reddit when you
Oh,
you commented on a guy,
I did
behold
comment.
my polymerization-anator, which is a photo of Doof dressed up as Yu-Gi-Oh. Is it Yu-Gi-Oh? What's the
Yep.
guy's name?
He's dressed up as Seto Kaiba, who is, you know how in anime,
Yep.
the show starts with an antagonist, and then about 10 episodes in, the antagonist and the
changes.
friend become friends, and then they reveal like the even more extreme antagonist.
Yeah.
Kaiba is the one for that from the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh. So in the first episode, he beats up Yugi's grandpa and then kidnaps him, and then Yugi has to fight him in a card game to get his grandpa back. And he's the antagonist, but then the antagonist turns out to be Maximilian Pegasus, and Kaiba ends up being friends with Yugi.
All right, whatever. And you said a thing, and then the guy responds with, "Hey, the Phineas and Ferb podcast thing got me curious, so I checked out your profile. My bad on being a few months late, but congrats on getting the co-creator on your show, man. That's fucking awesome." And
Hell yeah! Who was that?
that his name is
You /
Cream of the Zest.
Great use
So,
of that.
if anyone is to take the word seriously, Cream of the Zest has told you it's flipping awesome. So
There's
you should go
actually-
listen to that episode. So go listen to that episode.
There's a running Reddit joke, which is Rim Job Steve, because there was this person with profile who would often say very wholesome things, and their username was Rim Job Steve, and then you'd respond with "Thanks, Rim Job Steve," to like point out the irony of someone with that name
Yes.
saying it. And now whenever someone with a weird name says something like wholesome, you link them to r/Rim Job Steve
Nice.
as a meme. So yeah, that's a bit of a Rim Job Steve situation. I
Well,
feel like I've said the word Rim Job way too many times.
You have, and I'm very sweaty in this boot. That
Yep,
hot chocolate may have been a mistake. It
Yep.
rose my internal temperature a lot more than it should have.
Thank you so much for the wholesome letters. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We will be back with you with another episode very, very soon.
After Christmas.
After Christmas, yep. Merry Christmas to all those,
Merry
to those listening,
Christmas
and
to all those children and a good year.
and to all a good night.
The implications of Phineas and Ferb. Listen to it whenever you can.
Yeah, I did it.